Hi there and welcome back to Scrap as Dreamers Do. I'm sorry that I've been away for a few weeks. It's been quite a hectic time for me, half term and various bugs going around the house and different things, and yeah, about a month has gone by and I've done absolutely no scrapbooking whatsoever, so hoping to pick up again now and get some more pages done. So I'm here with another video for you. I'm going to be using some photos this time from Morocco in World Showcase in Epcot. I've got, I actually had 9 photos printed. They're all just scenery and things like that. I love the countries in World Showcase and I take tons and tons of photos. So I actually had 9 photos. I've discarded one because really hard to fit 9 4x6 photos onto a page, and I'm not a huge fan of cropping them right down really small or anything, and I print at 4x6, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to be using a sketch from Scrapbook Generation today. It's a double page sketch with room for 8 photos. I love Scrapbook Generation sketches for fitting lots of photos onto a page. Alison Davis is a genius at coming up with different combinations, and I use their sketches all the time for especially for my double pages and things like that. So there's various strips of paper along the way, and some embellishments around and title and space for a bit of journaling. So so that's where we are. In terms of supplies, I started off with this sticker sheet from Spice Market, which is an old basic grey collection. I remember buying this particularly with Morocco in mind. I thought the oranges and the reds and the blues went quite well with the that whole feel of Morocco. So I've pulled my colour scheme from this sheet of stickers, which I haven't used, and some of these aren't going to be suitable, like this wish one and you are perfect in every way. Well, there's no people in my photograph, so but we'll see what can work. We've got some flowers and bits and pieces there, so so that's my starting point. Alongside that sheet in my store, I also had this sheet of letter stickers, and I thought the colours on here went quite well, so I've pulled that out as well. That's one of the tiny text things from Bella Boulevard. Now, for double page layouts, I tend to use a cardstock background. My go-to is always white, but white's going to look a bit odd against the richness of the Morocco colours. So I'm going to use either this sandy sort of colour or this kind of a greyish brown colour. I'm not quite sure which one yet. I'll test the photos on it and see which one looks good. So for example, this one on here is a bit dark around the edges, so it kind of gets lost. But for example, this one, which is much lighter, doesn't look so bad. So it's just a trial and error thing, really. I'll just kind of see what goes. We'll do the same thing on here. Again, the darker photo on the sandy colour looks okay. It looks good, but the kind of sandy colour of this one against the paper, it kind of disappears. So it's trying to choose which one will look right, and the pattern paper may be able to break the background from the photo to stop those photos getting lost. So we'll see what we come up with for that. I've got this stripy colour pattern which I happened across in my stash as I was just putting everything away. It's from the 9 to 5 collection by October Afternoon, which is really old, 2012, so 5 years old. It's still in there. The colours are right. It goes quite well with the tones of this one, so I'm thinking I'll be able to use a couple of strips of that on, as it were, on the sketch. Then I've got, these are all older papers really. I've just chosen, and I've chosen patterns that read as a neutral. So I've got a tone on tone yellow diagonal stripe, this kind of off-white greyish colour, small repeating pattern, a blue polka dot, and another tone on tone orange stripe. Again, if you lay that stripe up against all of those, then we've got the orange, we've got the blue, we've got the off-white greyish colour, and we've got the yellow in there. And then if we put my sticker sheet up, then I think that goes quite nicely together. So that's what I'm going to be using. just in case you are interested in the papers. This is from Kate & Co by My Mind's Eye. This one is from We Are Family by Simple Stories. This one is from the Jen Hadfield Home and Made collection for Pebbles. And this one is from Campy Trails by American Crafts, and this is 2010, so that's 7 years old. So that definitely needs to get used up. So there we go, that's my supplies for this week. I'm gonna try perhaps pull in a few other bits of embellishment, maybe some enamel dots for these smaller stars and things like that. So we'll see where we go. Thank you. So you can see here that I decided to go with the grey cardstock in the end rather than the paler sandy colour. The reason for that was this cream pattern that I'm putting down now looked better against the darker background and against that sandy colour, so that's what triggered my choice there. I've taped my 2 background cardstock sheets down to my desk just with a bit of washi tape, and I'm just now sticking the various patterns down and the photos either side. So I started with that central cream piece, which was a 10-inch piece, and I've just cut it in half and stuck either piece on each piece of cardstock, and now I'm lining up my photographs. The reason I've got my ruler out is the Scrapbook Generation sketches always include placement guidelines for where things should go, and while I don't always follow those to the letter, sometimes it's easier to do so, particularly if I'm short on time, which I am at the moment. So I just get my ruler out and you know, just so I can get an idea where that placement should be. The photos I'm putting down now, it took me a few minutes to decide what order they should go in, but you'll see from the photos that some of them have got quite rich red tones in them, and I've tried to sort of create a horizontal line of that red orange colour going across the page, so you see it's there in the lamps on the left hand side in that central photograph, and then in that bottom photograph on the right hand side. And other things like the top photo on the left hand side has got a camel in it, which is now looking into the page. So I look for little things like that as I'm deciding where the photos should go. You'll see I've placed all the strips following the sketch, really easy to do, and now I'm turning to that sticker sheet and cutting out some stickers that I think may work. You'll see that these stickers are on a bright white background, and my layout is a bit more off-white, creamy in colour. So what I'm going to do with all those stickers is I'm going to use some brown distress ink to go around the edges, but also just brush a bit lightly over the top of each sticker, just kind of gives a more faded vintage look to those stickers, and stops them kind of being so bright against everything else on background. I decided to go with these big florals rather than the smaller ones that I initially cut out. They just weren't big enough for what the look I was trying to achieve, and I wanted more colour. The smaller ones were all the same red-orange colour with nothing else on them, and I like the fact that these ones have got some blue and some brown in them as well. I'm just going to pop these ones up on some foam squares as well, and in a minute you'll see me go back and pop up some of that larger flower as well. So in the end the stem is laying flat on the page, and the leaves and the flower itself are popped up ever so slightly, so just gives it a bit of dimension and a bit of interest on the page there. So you can see perhaps also that the photos are slightly coming off the edge of the page there. That's a bit of tidying up I'll need to do at the end of the layout. If I have to trim my photos, then I try to leave a little space on the bottom so that I don't end up with the photos not filling the length of the page, if that makes sense. Yeah, I'll just leave those to the end and put them on and cut them off at the end. I've got just chosen a few extra stickers here. I've got that capture the moments that I've put at the top left, and I've got this very small little red sticker that says love this photo, and I'm just trying to find a place for that to go. Apologies, it's kind of off the page so you can't see it, but you'll see it in the still at the end. I've also got these two kind of corner florals that I really like, and I just wanted to try and fit them on the page. They're not part of the sketch, but I'm just putting them in a place where I think they work, and again, just inking them all over with that brown ink, and a bit indecisive there about whether that one should overlap the stripe or not, and in the end I decided it shouldn't. I'm moving on to my title now. On the sketch, the title is really long, it stretches across both pages. The title I'm thinking of isn't that long, and my letter stickers aren't that big, so I'm just going to keep my title on the right hand page and just overlap those smaller circle stickers onto the photograph. And then I'm going to use the orange letters to spell out the word Morocco. So there we go, there's my title, This is Morocco. And now I'm just going to my enamel dots. I wanted to use these instead of stars or anything else, and what I want to do is have 5 enamel dots in with each flower, and have them in different colours. So I'm looking for that nice kind of blue turquoisey colour. I'm going to use some orange, and I'm going to use some brown. I'm just trying to decide which size to use, and in the end I just went for the medium size. I find the big enamel dots really hard to use sometimes. They just look too big on the page, so I end up with lots of very large enamel dots on my sheets. So here we are with the finished layout. I really like how this one turned out. I really enjoy the bright colours. I think they go well with the Morocco theme, and I've managed to use some papers that I've had in my stash for some time, so that's always a good thing. And I managed to use this sticker sheet that I bought specifically for Morocco, with Morocco photos, so that's always a plus. If you remember the sketch, I followed the basic layout pretty much to a T. I really like Scrapbook Generation sketches. They're so easy to follow. They have all the measurements and placements of everything on there, an indication of what kind of patterns you should be looking for as well. So it takes a lot of the thinking out of designing a scrapbook layout, which when I'm short on time, I need that kind of help. So I really recommend Scrapbook Generation if you like sketches and you like the pain taken out of making decisions. So on the sketch there were stars for each of these. I chose these big bold flowers from my sticker sheet, and then put enamel dots for the smaller stars. I added a couple of extra bits here and here, just some extra stickers that I thought could work. I think they look okay. Journaled directly onto the background paper rather than using a block. It shows up well on this page, so that's fine. Just stamp the date at the top there just to fill in that blank. And there's my little Mickey head, and we're done. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you again next time. Thank you.